to this now. The Presidential Climate Commission will outline plans for future repurposing of coal-fired power stations. It's been reflecting on the decommissioning of the Komati Power Station. Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe criticised the shutdown for not being a just transition, and he was angry at the massive number of job losses. Trade and Industry Minister Ibrahim Patel will also outline the strategy on green hydrogen commercialisation. Well, eNCA senior reporter Sphamandla Goge is watching this for us and joins us live now. Sphamandla, very warm good morning to you. And I mean, the debate between, coal as well as renewable energy has been ongoing in the country. But what can we particularly expect from this commission?
Well, that debate is about to get intense. It's not going to dry down anytime soon. In fact, for many years to come, that debate will continue to haunt South Africa in particular as the country undertakes this just energy transition. Yesterday, I covered the 9th BRICS Parliamentary Forum. It would appear that within and among BRICS nations, there appears to be a change in terms of the wording and the context. Instead of talking about just transition, they are talking about a fair transition. That's one of the things that were discussed at length during that 9th Parliamentary Forum of BRICS member states, and also moving forward, going to the upcoming climate change conference of the parties in the United Arab Emirates, which will be known as COP28 in Dubai later this year. You are bound to see that debate being heightened. At the center of what is happening in South Africa is the issue of phasing out coal-fired power plants. There is already a case study here that is generating a lot of political and perhaps somehow economic and labor hit, if you look at it in a sense that the Komati project, there are those who are unhappy with the way that the project was undertaken, the repurposing of that facility, which, by the way, was going to be shut down at some point by ESCOM because it had reached its capacity and it was too old. Therefore, with this just energy transition, many people lost their jobs, and the Minister of Energy was not happy with that. But the meeting that is underway currently is discussing and reviewing what has been achieved so far. It's a quarterly meeting. Let me not waste time. There is a gentleman who knows better than myself. His name is Blessing Manale. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Let's talk about this meeting that is underway. The Komati project report is coming up in the afternoon. It's going to get heated. Talk to us about the focus and the agenda items of this meeting.
Thank you very much. Indeed, the Commission it's marking a milestone. It's third year in its operation. It's having its 11th meeting today, and key on its agenda is the commercialization of green hydrogen. As you know, that there are talks about the future of hydrogen and how it can help resolve some of our energy issues. Then second to that is, of course, then the issue of the just energy transition investment plan, following the $8.5 billion pledged 2-3 years ago out of Paris, that it will assist South Africa to transition. But as you're saying, the hot issue, the elephant in the room, it is now the decommissioned Komati Power Station in Mpumalanga in the Steve Tshwete municipality. And the issue is about, has there been enough consultation? Was the phasing out sequenced? Did people get enough notices? Will the jobs be able to cover those that lost the jobs? But will Komati as a township, as a village, be able to rise again as a small economic hub? Or what can you do to diversify it so that people don't have to be displaced? So that's what is hot on the agenda of the Commission, and that's what's going to be in the report.
You have your report as the Commission on what happened in Komati. What is your report saying?
Well, I don't want to preempt. The Commission will obviously consider it in the next few minutes, so I would say as a cherry on top. Of course, the report is saying that workers are not happy. The communities are not happy. They are saying that the shutdown was kept under wraps. Even when we knew that the station will have to shut down at some stage or other, people continue to invest in the area around Komati for break and breakfast. People continue to do small restaurants. People continue to build small creches because they saw a social economy, a political economy out of the infrastructure. But now that it is gone, that is the trouble that the report is saying. But the report is saying never again. I think that's what it's important. It's saying never again must we decommission another power station when we know that it will be decommissioned and we leave people behind.
I know it says never again, but the question is what's to be done now? We are here now. Where to from here?
The report is saying we cannot simply say to the people of Komati, the milk has been spilled. It is saying let us go back, let us do post-decommission, reconstruction and development. Let us see what other emerging economies can come out of there. But we are saying to the people of Komati, as we repurpose, as we build in small grids, as we continue to create new jobs, let us say to the people of Komati, they don't have to start looking somewhere far for jobs. They will find jobs in the new repurposed. But we've got to make it bigger so that everybody else can continue to stay and work in Komati.
Usually this commission is chaired by the president. It's the Presidential Climate Commission. He's not here today, and Minister Patel is not here to talk about the just energy transition and opportunities that are there. What is happening with those two leaders?
Well, the president in most instances delegates that function to the Deputy Chair Minister Musa, our former Minister Musa, who's traveling abroad. But the commission today is being chaired by Minister Barbara Chris, who's very senior, heads 4 portfolios: fisheries, forestry, and the environment. So that's a very big portfolio, including climate change as a core function. But I think the consensus of the commission is found in the diversity of its commissioners who are not in government, which is labor, NGOs, business. And maybe it is good that most of them are here. Then they can reflect, because government is abreast with these matters daily. So it's a balanced commission. And in the absence of the president and some ministers, for example, on green hydrogen, the Industrial Development Corporation, which is an entity of the DTIC, is leading that. And we're expecting the project management unit of the presidency to also come and give us update on whether is the money coming in for the just energy transition.
I heard one of the people who spoke inside that meeting was not happy with how the process of undertaking this journey, just energy transition, but also when it comes to hydrogen itself, saying it must not serve the interests of foreign powers, other countries that are powerful. It must be within the South African context, addressing socio-economic and political challenges of this country.
Indeed, all major industrial policy must first look into national interest. It must create jobs, it must sustain the local, the regional and the national economy, but it must also be about the balance of payment. So what we send us out must bring us the highest value of dollars, the highest values of euro, and that is the only way you could actually balance import and export, where when you actually export, more money stays into the country. But we also appreciate that many South Africans have said, usually with technology, with developments, we only get the basic jobs, and we think that it is fair that we have learned from the past, and major industrial policies must improve skills, must improve our competitiveness, and that's what we are saying. We must be watching our energy strategy as well as our hydrogen strategy.
I saw the chairman there of the ESCOM board. He's inside there. It's going to get heated. But also South Africa is one of the biggest emitters when it comes to fossil fuels, electricity generation. Is there a plan moving forward? I know this is set to address all of that in line with climate change and environmental commitments, but ESCOM is another elephant in the room when it comes to reducing emissions.
That is the main reason that the power utility is part of the commission. And I think that there's been challenges with resuscitating or giving fresh impetus to the Just Energy Transition Office in ESCOM. And my understanding is that ESCOM will speak for itself, but he's abreast with those matters. And we've basically said to ESCOM, as a monopoly, as the greatest player, you've got to start thinking of the future of your business operating model. Already it's affecting municipalities. Municipalities are saying that why are we going to be able to raise revenue when we are no more buying electricity from ESCOM and reselling it? So there are major issues of revenue, of the capacity to develop the grid to go into areas of high radiation for solar, or areas of high wind generation. So in any way, ESCOM has got to realign to where new energy generation is going to come from, because it is no more coming alone from the power from the coal-fired power stations.
It's going to be a mix of everything, wind, solar, whatever you call it. But I want to move on because we don't have time. COP28 is fast approaching. South Africa and other African countries have been very clear when it comes to the issue of loss and damage. Of course, you do not speak for the Minister of Environmental Affairs. They will speak for themselves. But what's the position of the Commission heading into COP28?
Well, we've always rallied behind South Africa Incorporated when we go to international negotiations. We supported the Minister at the African Climate Summit. We'll be supporting the South African delegation to COP28 behind the national flag. But as we've said that loss and damage is the missing missing, is the black sheep of the family. There's not enough resources being put in, and the Commission specifically have started saying that we'd have to start an adaptation investment plan equal to the other mitigation investment plan, I guess, in energy, because you need to see the money and the actions. But we'd also go to this COP, because it's actually not a policy COP, it's an action COP, and say, let us take stock. I mean, what have we done, and call for more money, because we can only deal with adaptation with more money, because it's also about repairing damage. It's not about new investment, and people generally don't put in money to fix what they cannot see new money in.
Thank you very much for your time, Baba. That is Blessing Manala there from the Presidential Climate Commission. The meeting, the quarterly meeting, is underway, and at the center of what will be discussed this afternoon is the Komati project and the Komati report of the just energy transition, where things done in an orderly manner, in a just manner, in a fair manner, well, it's going to get heated.
Well, of course, we are looking forward to the outcomes of the Commission, Sphamandla, and we'll be sure to speak to you once again, of course, as soon as there are any other developments, or at least we've heard from the Commission. As you've mentioned, a robust engagement and debate is expected to ensue, and our eNCA senior reporter, Sphamandla Goge, will be our eyes and ears on the ground.